It's something that's made national headlines. The fentanyl crisis in San Francisco, certainly nationwide news, and a new ad campaign certainly has people talking. So here's the idea: using sarcasm to shame the city into action. So the posters and billboards all come with the slogan, "That's Fentalife," with sayings like, "In San Francisco, drug dealers have more rights than your kids." So it certainly is a different kind of approach to a very sobering subject. Fatal overdoses jumped 41% in the city in the first 3 months of this year. So Lauren Tom's joining us in the studio now, and I know that you've been talking to a lot of people. The people who are behind this campaign, they certainly have gone for the shock value.
Yeah, Julia, you'll be seeing more and more of these colorful ads popping up across the city, shaking up the so far unsuccessful efforts to curb the fentanyl crisis. Walking down this alley, it's an unsettling yet familiar environment for the Tenderloin that Cedric Akbar knows all too well.
I'm smelling urination. I'm smelling defecation out here. All of that is a culmination that's coming up off the ground, and people are sitting in the middle of it.
Cedric is a recovering addict himself and spent years in and out of prison before turning his purpose to fighting the drug crisis that took so much from him. It's here where advocacy group Together SF has chosen a target as part of a provocative ad campaign, bringing attention to the fentanyl crisis. It took just a few steps for Cedric to notice a common sight.
They're using the beeper that goes on clothes from when you steal, and they're using that to smoke out of.
"That's Fentalife" is written in a playful font surrounded by bright colors evoking rainbow fentanyl. It's demanding city leaders are held accountable in the fentanyl crisis.
It's really painful to be able to see, and especially when people look like me or laying out here, and I know that's somebody's mother or somebody's father, somebody's child that's laying out here in these streets.
He's been clean for nearly 30 years and hopes more people on the streets of San Francisco will get to this point too.
I would never see my daughter again. I may not be able to even be able to live again. And it just brought to me that the only reason why I continue to go to prison is because of my heroin addiction.
But so far, he says the fentanyl crisis has taken too much with too few solutions. He partnered with advocacy group Together SF, which has poured $300,000 into the Fentalife campaign.
This is speaking to everybody who's sitting back and not doing nothing and sitting on their hands.
Although the installations are primarily in alleys where drug use is common, Together SF CEO Kanishka Chang says the campaign is directed at anyone frustrated with the crisis.
Politicians react to public pressure, and that's what we're creating, a citywide coalition that's going to build that public pressure to tell them we want action on this and we're going to hold you accountable to results on this.
But within just 24 hours, the same installation sits vandalized, even covering up the QR code meant for onlookers to send emails directly to City Hall. Again, highlighting the state the Tenderloin has come to, in part due to the issue the campaign is targeting.
Hold our supervisors, hold our people that in office, hold them accountable for this. And they can't do it alone. They can't do it by themselves. I'm not putting all the onus of responsibility on them. This onus of responsibility is on all of us, because even at some point we have allowed this to happen and we didn't do nothing about it. So now it's time to do something about it.
All with the hope the campaign will urge enough people to work together to ease the crisis.
All right, well, one thing's for sure, it's opened up a conversation. Now, there is criticism about the campaign being too flippant and also about a serious situation, right? So let's take a look at Supervisor Dean Preston, who specifically called out one poster saying, "Don't forget to add Narcan to the family shopping list." He called it a gross campaign, displaying a complete indifference to human life. How does the group respond to that criticism when you talk to them today, Lauren?
Yeah, Julia, the group tells me that these ads are meant to be provocative and capture your attention. We are seeing Narcan supplies being stocked in high schools and colleges across the Bay Area. So the group appears to be capitalizing on that in their attempt to shake up this effort to disrupt the open-air drug markets.
Yeah, I know it's more than just the ads, right? So they're proposing some other things as well?
Yeah, Julia, the group has a list of talking points. So the rollout is coming just weeks before the mayor is expected to release her budget for the coming year. So there's definitely some intention to influence that to get more funding for more police academies
felony classes to increase the number of SFPD officers and to solidify a permanent drug trafficking disruption operation. They also want to add city vehicles that would pick up drug users and take them to treatment programs at all hours of the day and night. Lastly, the group is pushing for more funding for drug treatment beds and recovery programs. All of these, of course, hot topics for the city to fund in the next budget.
What was your takeaway? They want action. They want it now.
Yes, it is. This is kind of another attempt at throwing spaghetti at the wall, saying what sticks. But this certainly is grabbing people's attention. And like we saw in that piece, it's already grabbing the attention for people to graffiti over it as well.
Yeah, well, thank you for going out there and covering it and bringing it to us. All right, thanks, Lauren.